frying, there's a wonder for all to see. Greener pastures and many orchards in the valley beckons me. As I gaze up at the hilltops, I see history with my own eyes. Yes, it's Shiloh, the city of awe, coming alive.
Shiloh is probably one of the most important places besides Jerusalem that we know of biblical history and the connection with the land of Israel. Shiloh is the first capital of Israel, is one of the most important landmarks in Tanakh, next to Jerusalem. The dividing up of the Platz after the Kibush of Eretz Yisrael by Yeshua, the setting up of the Mishkan, the Tefillah of Chana. Shiloh is the stepping stone to Yerushalayim. It's the place where the tribes came together, where they unified themselves. If you want to get to Jerusalem, to Yerushalayim, you have to go through Shiloh.
7 years after our people entered Eretz Yisrael, the Mishkan came to Shiloh to settle there as well. 7 years after the 6-day war, a new city came to be. The rebirth of Shiloh was making history.
Tu B'Av, as one of the earlier festivals listed in Tanakh from ancient times, Yemim Yemima, as it says in the final chapter of Shoftim, where in order for the tribes to come together after ostracizing Binyamin, and when the tribes all came together, it was at Shiloh to do it, when the girls were snatched out of the fields, as it was. It was a ceremony in which the idea of Tu B'Av, summer festival, at a time celebrating the end of the deaths in the Midbar, when the Metim stopped in the Midbar, they attached it at the same time to uniting all Jews together. Tu B'Av is one of the most fascinating of the early festivals that the Jewish people practiced, in which Jewish unity was stressed and emphasized. When they wanted to come together, it was at Shiloh.
On Tu B'Av, the daughters of Shiloh went out to the fields, dressed in white so only their inner beauty would be revealed. All the men would look around and try to find a wife. In Shiloh they would start a brand new life.
The idea of Tu B'Av as a festival for singles today is not a very far throw from what the ancients intended. In order for Jewish people to come together, a family has to be created. A couple first has to be created. That's the basis of Judaism. Judaism can't be practiced alone. You can't be a single and be a good Jew. And Tu B'Av, I think, is one of the most wonderful opportunities for Jews to come together and to make a future, which is basically what we did in Shiloh. In Shiloh, we established foundations for the future of the Jewish state, the Jewish monarchy, and for the Jewish people.
Shiloh, city of peace and faith. Shiloh, we no longer have to wait. The center of our land, the beginning of His plan, until Mashiach comes. Shiloh sanctified everything as far as the eye could see. All of its surroundings were made holy. It is said that all who gazed upon the city of Shiloh was filled with a fear of God, was filled with a fear of God.
The idea of Shiloh was an idea that was developed by Gush Amunim back in 1977, when 12 different groups were to go up to areas that are very famous from Tanakh. And the group at Shiloh was actually turned away, but they persisted. They went to Ofra, and in January 1978, they came back disguised, as we may say, as an archaeological excavation team. They stuck it out. A year later, they got official government permission, and we've been there ever since. From 8 families and a few bachelors who studied with the Shiva, we now have 175 families about 1,200 Jews all together from all ages, very strong youth group. We have yeshivatas there, educational institutions, industrial area, agriculture. We have basically done what Jews have always done, coming back to the land, make it live, and hopefully having ourselves live with the growth of Shiloh.
Shiloh, city of peace and faith. Shiloh, we no longer have to wait. The center of our land, the beginning of His plan. Shiloh is our home.
If I could wake up my great-great-grandfather and tell him, I'm living at Shiloh today, and he would go to sleep again, he would say, Mashiach has come. Can you imagine 150 years ago, Jews would think about other Jews living at Shiloh? This is what we're here for. Jews around the world, especially America, must realize that there was always a chalutz lifnei hamachaneh, and always a vanguard before the camp. And we don't know why we were picked or why we committed ourselves, but we are there. We're on the front line of battling the battle of the Jewish people, not only the land of Israel, but who it is to be a Jew, what it is to be full of Jewish pride, Jewish honor, respect for the Jew as a person all around. I would hope that we contribute at Shiloh to that image of what the Jew is, and I would hope that the Jews of America and Jews around the world would be able to understand what we are doing, and together with them we could unite and do something so much better for the future of the Jewish people. The principle of Arevim Zeh Lazeh basically means that we're one big family. And among families, you might have disagreements, but in times of trouble, everybody comes together. Everybody understands what we are doing, and we're not only doing it for ourselves. If I thought for a moment that I was doing it only for myself or only for my family, I would have second thoughts. But I know from my reading of Tanakh that we are one, we are together. And we here at Shiloh would like to think that Jews in New York, Jews in London, Jews in other places would be with us at this fateful hour. Unfortunately, we're facing an enemy that is not only interested in wiping us off the map of Eretz Israel physically and wiping off the presence of the Jewish people, and without distinction of this line or that color line, but take a look what they've done at places of tremendous archaeological importance, starting from the Temple Mount destruction that's going on, the burning of the synagogue at Yericho, the taking over of Kever Yosef in Shechem, and they would like also to be at Shiloh and take out the fact that the Tell of Shiloh has archaeological evidence from over 3,700 years ago, from the time of Avraham, up until almost the present, to the Turkish period. So we're talking about just taking us away as if we don't belong there. This is a fight that all Jews must fight together. Another reason I think that I'm at Shiloh is that I would like to be at a place where no one, no Jew, no non-Jew, or any other color or race or creed or belief could tell me as a Jew I don't belong there. No one can tell me as a Jew that I can't belong in the place where Yeshua was, where Chana was, Shmuel, Achiyah HaShiloni, and all the Jews who came afterwards, and perhaps who were there before. I'm home. My home is my home, where my family and 5 children are raised. I would hope that together that message will be made, that I am home and no one can take me out of it.
Shiloh, Shalva